Hey, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles pregame show. Bo Wulf, Jamie Lynch, ahead of the Eagles' second preseason game, this one against the New England Patriots. These two teams had a joint practice 2 days ago. That usually means that the starters are going to have the night off. It sounds like that is mostly the case, but we will hear a little bit more from Zack Burman in about 10 minutes about exactly what to expect. Jamie, how you doing? Are you excited for some preseason football, or are you already moving on to let's get to week one?
A little bit of both. I think there's a couple of positions that are kind of up for grabs, truly. I'm not excited to watch Kenny Pickett again. Maybe he'll surprise me. So that could be something to pay attention for. Zach's already tweeting about some of the guys. It sounds like, your boy Becton is not going to play either. So it sounds
Becton has the night off, but Tyler Steen does not.
And so that means week one starting guard, right?
Everybody who was pussyfooting around and saying, "Oh, I don't know, this could still flip." I'm sorry, man. I told you a long time ago. This thing is over.
Yeah, it is. McKee Becton. Look, if they can turn garbage into gold with him, I mean, that might be a feather in the cap of Stoutland University. Because, as Zach loves those first round talents, I mean, the size and talent was always there with him. Maybe it was just, the Jets, botching something else. Who knows?
I do think that this is interesting because you would think that Becton is a guy who could use the reps. He's still adjusting to a new position. He did not play great in his one series last week. I don't think that he's played great most of the summer. I think he's been fine. I mean, there's real power there and there's upside, especially in the running game, but he is not a refined product by any means. And I actually think that Tyler Steen has had a good summer, but for whatever reason, the Eagles do not seem to agree with that.
Yeah, that is a strange point. Maybe it's just the modern NFL where if you're a starter, we're going to protect you. And, what happened to J.J. McCarthy this week and Addison and, all these Vikings going down probably sent some shivers down some GM spine. So they probably, just who do you think ultimately is making these calls? Do you think it's a collaboration between Jeffrey and Howie and Nick is left out of it? Or how do you think this actually goes down?
I think for the offensive line, they pretty much leave it to Stout.
Okay.
I think
everybody else is Big Dom. Is Big Dom making the call here? Since apparently he's got the whole team together, right?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Big Dom's making the call on the starters tonight outside the offensive line.
Now, by the way, Jamie, for all of you who are watching the game tonight, sitting on your couch, maybe with some friends, if you're sucking them back, I hope it's a Miller Lite because you can get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/PHLYBirds, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You know the deal. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Thank you to Miller Lite for sponsoring the pregame show.
Yeah. Always love a cold Miller Lite.
Yeah, what's better than that? So the other stuff that Zach seems to have eyes on from the press box at Gillette Stadium is that on defense, the linebackers are all in uniform. So we may still see Devin White and Zach Bond tonight as they continue to rotate on Tuesday's practice against the Patriots. A bunch of rotation there. Nakobe Dean was involved. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. was involved. Even Brandon Smith was involved. So something to keep an eye on. Sounds like Bryce Huff is in uniform, which is kind of odd given the big extension or the big contract they signed him to in the offseason. I'm not sure he's actually going to play, but he is in uniform. And then all the corners are in uniform except for Darius Slay. So that means we would expect to see Quinyon Mitchell and Isaiah Rodgers and Keely Ringo at some point here a little bit.
Yeah, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis are the two. There's nobody on this defense that I really say deserves a day off outside of maybe Slay because you kind of know what he is at this point.
I think Carter. I think you can.
Carter and Davis and Slay, and that's pretty much it. If Josh Sweat plays, so be it. He's got to establish himself again here as a dominant edge force for them. Bryce Huff, nobody even knows you, so I'm totally fine with all these guys playing. I think it's good for them. I kind of like the old schoolness of Fangio here saying no, screw that, get out there and play. You guys are fighting for jobs here.
We'll have to ask Zach if Reed Blankenship is in uniform or not, because if not, that would mean presumably an Avonte Maddox, James Bradbury combination at safety, which will be interesting to track as Bradbury tries to actually make this roster. Where do you stand on Bradbury, Jamie?
If he's willing to play the backup safety role part and be a leader and be a veteran and help these young guys, I'm all for it, because you're basically eating the money either way if he's here or not. So, if you
bald spot on the NBC thing as Brandon Graham
up.
was giving his interview, the way that the interviews were set up in New England, it was like the cameras were up on a hill and the interviews were down below, and that was the best place for me to get a look. And I got to tell you, I thought it was going to be worse.
All right, look at that. Yeah. A little confidence boost on this Thursday.
Not bad. I got more time left than I thought.
Well, it's beautiful on the other side as well, Bo. Bald is beautiful. Don't
you make
fight
it. You make it work. I don't know if I'm going to have that same shape in LA.
Yeah, but I'm totally cool with Fangio playing these guys. The defense sucked last year. I'm all for getting back to the grind of it. And Bryce Huff has a lot to prove. I mean, the Eagles are going to win this trade no matter how you dissect it because of what Hassan Reddick's situation has become. But Bryce Huff, we kind of paid you to be a 3-down player, and the defensive coordinator is telling us you're not there yet. So get out there and play. Yeah.
Now, how about on offense, Jimmy? You mentioned that you are not super excited to see Mr. Pickett tonight, but I imagine that we will see plenty of him.
Yeah.
What would impress you? What would move the needle for you from Kenny Pickett?
Anything over 15 yards with some velocity.
Okay.
A very low bar. I just saw nothing last week. 10 yards was his furthest pass on the second play of the game to Johnny Wilson. Outside of that, it was dinking and dunking. I just want to see a rip. Like, his balls to the sidelines were fluttering. The gloves don't instill any confidence. I would like to just see if he has an arm. Otherwise, Tanner McKee, in my mind, which is irrelevant to reality, would become the backup.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just he's got small hands, Bo. You can't.
He's got those Burger King hands.
Yeah, he's the Whopper Jr. hands. You can't overcome that. Gloves are weird for a quarterback.
Now, Zach has put in Slack the what looks like the Eagles' starting offensive line, a picture here.
No,
we're going to get Zach in a couple minutes. It looks like Fred Johnson, left tackle, Trevor Keegan, left guard, Brett Toth at center, Tyler Steen at right guard, and Darian Kennard back at right tackle. So that would be the exact same group that we saw last week once Becton left the game. I think you would like to maybe see a step up from Trevor Keegan. I'm still not sure I'm fully buying the Brett Toth is going to make this roster, but Jeff Stoutland sure seems to love him. And then Darian Kennard, Lane Johnson gave him a shout out the other day. I played the entire game last week. I wonder if he's going to do that again, or if we're going to actually get to see a little Aneem Dankwa in your life.
So Zach was a part of the Anthony show this morning, which I was on, and his theory is they could be, giving Kennard enough tape to possibly shop him around. Are you buying or selling that thought? It does make a lot of sense because every snap is weird.
I think that's interesting, and I actually think that the Patriots are the kind of team that would be interested because judging from what I saw on Tuesday, that Patriots offensive line is garbanzo beans. The Eagles defensive line just annihilated them, and it made the practice borderline unwatchable because they were so dominant. And I don't know. And Zach and I talked about this yesterday. I was putting together some just imaginary proposals. How about Darian Kennard to the Patriots for one of their wide receivers like Tyquan Thornton or something like that, a guy who's not going to make their roster but would maybe be an upgrade over what the Eagles have, and maybe send some 6th or 7th type pick swap or something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It came off the heels of me asking Zach, is there a position of surplus that the Eagles would have tried to trade a player as opposed to a draft pick? And he brought up Kennard as possibly that type of guy.
Yeah.
He also brought up, some of the cornerbacks.
Eli Ricks,
Eli Ricks in particular. And Zach was very keen on, the Texans. But I think the Patriots make a lot of sense too. But the Texans for like a John Mechie, somebody that's like a 4th or 5th wide receiver for them.
Loves a Mechie.
I was a huge Mechie guy coming out as well. So it'll be interesting. I think there's something to that with Kennard.
Go fetchy a Mechie. Why not?
The Medicis?
Yeah, the Medicis. Yeah. All right. Let's bring him
Oh,
on
you're
right now.
Medici guy. I'm a Medici guy. All right.
Well,
Tomato, I guess.
yeah. Let's bring him on right now. Let's see what he thinks. Zack Burman from Gillette Stadium. Looks like he used one of those Gillette razors and gave himself a nice clean shave. ZB, how you doing?
Doing great. I'm going to be careful with my voice modulation because I'm in the press box here. I'm at my seat. There's not a spot in the back for me to go here. So I want to be respectful of those working around me, but I'll still give you all the pregame information.
Who are we surrounded by, Zach? Who are you offending right now?
I got Jimmy Kensky right here to my right.
Ask Jimmy, how was the spread for the pregame? What's up, Jimmy?
That was the spread.
Jimmy satisfied with the spread?
They had the Korean barbecue chicken.
He liked the Korean barbecue chicken. Delicious.
Strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But you have to check out his official rankings to get that. You learn this in the book business. You don't give away everything in the book. You have to get them to buy the book. Yeah.
Wow. He's book-splaining Kemsky, saying Kemsky's not in the book business. Only Zach knows this.
That's great.
Zach, you sound a little. Are you okay? You sound like you maybe have a little bit of a cold.
Oh, no cold. I feel great, healthy, happy, thrilled to be here.
What'd you do today?
I worked. I wrote a story on 12 players to watch. I did that this morning, and then I continued on another story that I'm working on. I'm kind of saving it for next week, and then I walked to get a nice lunch. Actually, it was a place that a few of our colleagues from a different outlet went, and they said I missed someone I would have wanted to see. So I was vexed about that. I ate too early. Then I was on a few calls and came to the stadium. Got here 4:00. Thrilled to be here.
Can we play 20 questions for the person you missed?
No, you can't, because I don't want to reveal where that person was.
Was it a member of Eagles personnel?
Yes.
Okay. Was it?
I think you guys want to know about pregame warm-ups today, right? I think that's the most.
We've already tweeted about that. We already talked about it.
Well,
was it Howie?
From the person on the scene. You probably want to know from the person on the scene here that McKee Becton not in uniform tonight, like you guys just discussed. Tyler Steen is in uniform, so as Bo's been saying, you watch their actions here. McKee Becton's going to be the starting right guard.
Okay, so we will take the non-answer as confirmation that it was Howie Roseman. So, Zach, the Becton thing, I think we can agree where the signs are pointing there. What do you make of Bryce Huff being in uniform? And do you think he's actually going to play, or is this just sort of a pump fake?
Maybe it's a pump fake, but he was going through pregame warmups as the starter on that side. So it's not even as if he's just in uniform. He would have been the only one in the defensive formation who is not playing tonight, right? So that would surprise me at this point if he doesn't play. I don't anticipate him playing long. But that does surprise me because Josh Sweat's not playing. Jalen Carter's not playing. Jordan Davis isn't playing. Milton Williams isn't playing. You would figure to round that out, Bryce Huff wouldn't play. Maybe they just want to give Bryce Huff a little more work against the run. I don't quite know the full reason for it. Something I will ask Nick Sirianni post-game. But that surprised me. It's also notable that every linebacker is in uniform tonight. I suppose that's not a surprise, but that shows you that competition continues. Like we're calling the Becton thing. Even Devin White.
Are you officially calling it? Cousin Grace wants to know.
Am I officially calling it? Well, Jimmy Kemsky called it. He did the Jimmy projection like they put on.
Why is he the official? I called it a week and a half ago.
So yeah. So
tell him how books work again.
It certainly looks like it's trending in that direction. This is a definitive. This is
what a tepid. It certainly looks like it's trending in that direction. It's been looking that way for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but this is the most revealing indication yet. And so it's newsworthy, it's noteworthy, and I'm happy to provide all the PHLY listeners and viewers that information here in Foxboro.
Yeah, and I was happy to provide it 2 weeks ago if they really wanted to know what was going on.
So, Zach, I'm going to be looking a lot at the linebackers tonight. How do you think this is divvied up? Are we getting a small sample size of Bond and White, with Trotter and Dean like really having an opportunity to shine tonight and steal a job? How do you see this kind of playing out?
Yeah, good question. I don't quite know what that rotation is going to look like. I don't imagine we'll see as much White tonight. We'll probably see some Bond. I think we're going to see a lot more of Dean and Trotter is my guess.
Good. That's intriguing.
and that's not going based on anything I've been told. You saw that last week that they took White and Bond off pretty quickly. I think they'll continue in that direction.
Zach, you do have a big admirer in the chat. Reed is here. He wants to know why you're not acknowledging that he's here.
I think he called you a coward. Is that what it says, Bo?
No, I don't think Reed knows no coward. Yeah. No.
I think he does. I believe in you, Reed.
Reed, you're the best, man. I'm sorry. I was answering Jamie's question. I'm looking at the field in front of me, trying to be respectful of those working in this press box. But Reed, what's up? I'll FaceTime you after this.
In the locker room tonight, Zach, I hope if you run into Quinyon Mitchell, you will tell him that Reed got a pick 6 with him.
Reed got his pick 6 with him. What's the journalistic ethics on that? What do you think? You think that's okay?
I think that makes asking for something. You're just telling him. Yeah.
It makes Quinyon feel good. Yeah, that's a confidence booster.
All right. I'll mention the Quinyon respectfully. My son played Madden and got the pick 6.
Yeah, I think you're at the end of the day, as much as you value this job and your journalistic integrity, at the bottom line is your allegiance has to be to Reed.
My allegiance is always to Reed. Fair enough.
Okay. What are your expectations now, weather-wise? First of all, is the weather affecting Nick Sirianni's decision to play the starters? And how bad is it? Are we is it going to make it hard for Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee to throw the ball tonight, or has it calmed down enough that we can keep bombs away?
It's cleared out now, right? So I'm looking at the field. No one's in a raincoat or anything like that. There's no rain coming down. There was rain, thunder, lightning earlier. So actually they cleared the field. Players, I saw Dave Zangaro, who was down in the tunnel, and he took video of the Eagles warming up in the tunnel because they weren't allowed to be on the field.
Dave is a brave guy, having already gotten hit by lightning in his car once, to be that close again.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't. There was no thunder or lightning when we were driving up here. It started when we were in the stadium, and Dave got here around the same time I did.
I have a cousin that was struck twice by lightning in her life.
Really? What are the odds of that?
Yeah, directly.
Oh my God!
The odds have to be minuscule to none. So anyway, a little fun fact.
Yeah, I hope.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine both times. Yeah.
Did you learn Portuguese? That's a reference to the phenomenon. Did you see that movie?
I did not. No.
Okay.
Is that
what's the phenomenon?
John Travolta. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's John Travolta,
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. He got struck by lightning, and he was a genius. Learned Portuguese. I'm trying to learn Portuguese for the Brazil trip, week 1.
That's a hell of a reference.
One day of Duolingo for Portuguese in advance of my trip to Brazil this summer, and that was it. One day.
Gotcha.
Did you learn how to say, "Where's the bathroom"? That's an important one. Okay. Zach, offensively tonight, what are you going to be watching for in particular offensively? Obviously, the third wide receiver position is something. The offensive line, we saw your picture. You're getting some kudos for improved photography this year already, so good job there. But what are you going to be looking for on the offensive side tonight?
First off, Jamie, I appreciate that, okay, because I did some research this offseason on how to take pictures from a distance on the phone. And what you try to get better every year. There's certain things you work on. One of the things I've worked on was my photography skills, understanding the importance of this medium, right? So watching the offense tonight, in particular on the offensive line, Brett Toth and Darian Kennard, for the reasons that I mentioned. Brett Toth, he kind of has the role that I expect of Matt Hennessy going into training camp, where he's the top center backup right now. He's the top backup at center. Could be, I spoke to Landon Dickerson this week, said he plays 5 positions. That's so valuable to have, right? Or actually, I think it was Cam Jurgens who said that. So I want to see Toth because I'm a little surprised by his standing right now on the roster. I want to watch Kennard. But you mentioned the third wide receiver. Wilson and Covey, if the Eagles don't make a trade, seem to be in the lead. Paris Campbell's not playing tonight. When Paris Campbell gets back, we'll see what happens there. I thought John Ross had a good practice on Tuesday in Foxboro. But the player that I want to see a wide receiver tonight is Aniyah Smith. And I'm not even talking about the third wide receiver competition. I'm talking about a spot on the 53. The Eagles have not cut a draft pick since Jacoby Stevens in 2021? Was it 2020? 2021. So it's been some time since they've cut a draft pick from the 50, on that first cut. So I'm curious to see, because if I was making my roster right now tonight, Anaya Smith would not be on it. And going into camp, I thought he had a good chance of making the 53.
All right,
Sorry, I
last
think he
one.
had a good chance of being the third wide receiver.
Last one for
Is
me.
Paris
Zach.
Camo gonna make the team real quick? Sorry, Bo.
Go ahead.
He's got to get healthy. I think if he puts together a good week, this is an interesting week in front of us. They have 5 practices, which is pretty rare this time of year. So I actually think that there's a good chance for a lot of these roster guys to still make a move during these 5 sessions from Saturday to Thursday.
My last question for you, Zach, is Patriots wise, what is interesting to you in terms of matchups they're bringing to the table or players to watch, aside from obviously one of the best players in football is Christian Ellis going to be on the field?
Yeah, so I really liked your observation about the Patriots receivers the other day. And as we discussed on Tuesday's show, I didn't get a chance to watch much of the Patriots offense that day. But the Eagles have Keely Ringo in uniform. They have Isaiah Rodgers in uniform. They have Quinyon Mitchell in uniform tonight, right? And these Patriots receivers, as you mentioned, they have some depth there. Maybe not top heavy, certainly, but they have some depth there. So I want to see how that matchup looks early in the game. So that's what I'm really looking forward to from the Patriots. The other thing is, I thought from a schematic perspective, I thought the Patriots put some pressure on the Eagles front in that joint practice Tuesday. So I know the Eagles first team O-line's not out there, but I want to see if there's any adjustments that they've made schematically in terms of figuring out how to identify those Patriots blitzes and kind of their answers against them.
How much Drake May are we going to see tonight? Or are we?
Good question. I mean, I got to imagine, right? He's I don't have the firm answer. I'm looking forward to I look forward to watching him play. It's a shame Eagles fans won't get to see JJ McCarthy next week, but they'll get to see JJ. They'll see Drake May tonight.
All right. Well, Zack Burman, thank you very much. We will look forward to talking to you in the post game and enjoying your tweets as the game goes on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm gonna get a room post game. So I'll
not in front of Reed, Zach.
So my voice modulation will be a little better post game than it is right here.
Ah, it sounds fine. You're good.
Yeah. Tell Jimmy we said hi.
Yes,
Jimmy,
please.
Said hello.
Hi.
Hey, he said hi back.
Thank you so much. Looking good.
Looking forward to post game, Zach.
You got it, guys. Take care.
See ya.
All right, Jamie.
Bo, I did have it on my notes. The persecuted Christian is a big night for you.
I had somebody text me, reach out to me from the Patriots organization. They said he's our best linebacker.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So does that mean we're not going to see him much tonight? Are they putting him on ice?
No, he played a lot in the first preseason game, so I don't know if he's actually set to start or not. But yeah, I mean he's a player. The Eagles could use a Christian Ellis, just like they could have used him last year.
Sure. Bo, we also have a super chat I wanted to shout out to Nick Lyons. He said, I'm pretty sure we knew where Zack Burman stood on the Kinsey scale when he refused to call Gabe Hall anything but Gabe Hall.
Yes.
Am I in the dark on this one?
That's just what it sounded like when he was pronouncing Gabe Hall. Gabe Hall.
Okay. I got to the end and I was like, am I supposed to be reading this? Is this problematic?
Okay.
All right. Good. All right. Good. Thank you, Nick, for the super chat.
Gabe Hall will get plenty of action tonight at defensive.
Gabe Hall does sound like Gay Hall. So now I see
it. Jamie, I feel a little bit like a celebrity today.
Oh,
because for the first time, and I've been wondering if this was ever going to happen, got snapped with the family by South Street Sam on Instagram yesterday. Yeah,
wow,
pretty cool.
That is very cool.
It was fun.
I've followed him for a while now. I used to live up there, and I always
noticed that you were following him. I thought you would appreciate that.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So what was the fam doing? Just taking a walk, and
we were just walking back from the playground, walking home.
Did you have like a scooter?
He like, hey, I'm a street photographer. Can you mind if I take a picture of you guys? I said, I know who you are. Yeah, take a picture. Let's do it. So,
did it make the account?
And Casey and his rollerblades.
Oh, I got to go check out his account.
That's we're not the featured one, but there's like a one little one in the what is it? The stories? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to check that out as soon as the game starts here.
That was fun. All right.
Little Phillies 3-run home run to start the game there. And then Castellanos just hit one. So look at that.
Alec Boehm, the first one?
Boehm 3-run homer, and then Casty followed him up with a solo shot. So look at that.
Schwarber
Phillies
saved the
are back.
season, huh?
Yep.
Do you think it was the Schwarber home run last night, the granny?
It might be a point you look back on. They had gone like 34 innings without a home run, so that was a big one to get. So we'll see. They're a good team. I mean, it's just baseball's weird, football's weird. A lot of professional sports are weird and hard. It is what it is.
Any predictions that you'd like to go on the record with tonight, other than maybe, let's say, Joe Milton, the Patriots' third quarterback, will do something kind of fun?
I think
an
Tanner
Alex
McKee,
Magoo type play.
I think Tanner McKee is going to be the team's clear second quarterback again after tonight. That's my prediction.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that. You're speaking my language.
You think they try and trade? I mean, maybe you try and flip a Pickett to Minnesota.
Yeah, Zach and I talked about that yesterday. It's probably not the right situation because, like, the Vikings, in theory, already chose Darnold over Pickett.
Good point.
I don't think it's not like I think you would be looking for like a backup who got hurt somewhere.
Okay. Well, a man can dream.
Man can dream. Certainly, they've done it with the Vikings before. Now, I think last week I said I don't remember if it was Okwara or Terrell Lewis who I said was going to get a sack, but I will not go back to that. Well, I do think we will see the backup defensive line for the Eagles make some big plays in this game. I'm going to go ahead and say Thomas Booker, one of the final contenders for the Bo Wulf Camp Crush. Thomas Booker makes a couple splash plays tonight.
Oh, what about Lou Nickel? How are we feeling?
Well, thanks for bringing him up because I think we agree that the running backs as a group all looked very good last week. Probably says a little something about the offensive line, but I would imagine we will see a little bit of Kenny Gainwell tonight, more Will Shipley again. And then I'm curious, Lou, Tyrion Davis-Price, and even, what's his name? Kendall Milton? Do I have that? Kendall Milton?
Sure.
Not by me. Even those guys all look good.
Kendall Milton from Georgia.
Yeah. I think that I think we might see some fireworks from Lou tonight, but Tyrion Davis-Price ran hard, so he's got an opening.
All right. Yeah, there's some jobs to be won out there tonight. So, it's not like the most exciting game in the world, but for the guys on the field tonight, there's job opportunities out there. So, they're going to be playing hard. I'm really looking forward to watching the linebackers. I think the cornerback group as a whole is a lot of young talent, and they're all fighting for positions, and the offensive line backups as well. So, there's some stuff, and the third wide receivers. So, there's 4 position groups where jobs are, almost straight up for grabs. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think the things that you would like to actually see that really matter for like who's going to be on the field week 1 for the Eagles are, can the linebackers pop, especially Dean and or rather White and Bond? Does one of the corners, really lock things down? And I think if Quinyon Mitchell has another good game, I remain of the opinion that he could even start on the outside week 1. And then Johnny Wilson or Britton Covey is somebody going to make some plays as a wide receiver because Wilson has impressed as a blocker. The Eagles really like what he brings to the table there, but he has, he's had a couple drops on passes that he should have caught, including one in the game last week. Let's see how he carries that over to the game tonight.
Yeah, it should be good. Johnny Wilson's got an opportunity to go take a job. So does he step up and do it? We'll find out. But it's going to be a fun one.
It's going to be a fun one, and we will be here after to talk about it all.
Oh, the other thing I'm interested in watching tonight is the Jalix Hunt Nolan Smith combo.
Yes,
that I will keen in on a lot because that type of athleticism on each side is, I would imagine, a lot of fun for Vic Fangio. So Jalix Hunt is definitely going to get my eyeballs a lot tonight.
And for Nolan Smith, if Nolan Smith is ready to be a part of the rotation week 1, he needs to look.
He better
really
be.
Tonight. He needs to look really good tonight because the offensive line is not good that he's going up against. He had a great practice on Tuesday. I thought he looked really good. If he carries it over to tonight, that is a nice positive sign. Although I don't imagine he's going to play a ton tonight, but
I wouldn't think a ton. But Jalix Hunt should get a decent amount of time, I would expect. Developmental guy, so let him play.
All right, that'll do it for the PHLY Eagles pregame show as my chair continues to sink, and I'm all the way down here now. We will be here after the game, Jamie and I, and then joined by Zach once again following the post-game press conferences. So enjoy the game, everybody. We will talk to you later. Thanks to Julia for making it all happen. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.